Welcome, parents and guardians. I'm glad that your sons and daughters are going out for track this year. We're required, instead of having a parent meeting, to do a presentation on a video, so that's what I'm taking care of here. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. There's a lot of information to cover, but and hopefully I won't seem like I'm jumping around too much. We start the season this year on April 12th. Practices run from 3:30 to 5, and that's a pickup at 5 o'clock. We are starting the year with practices at the high school this year because of the fact that the high school team does not practice until the week later. And so we're going to take that opportunity to get up there. I usually do like starting out at the middle school first, but since we had the opening there, we're going to take that. We have 18 practices and 4 meets. 10 of the practices are at the middle school as of right now, unless something would change, and I'd notify you of that, and then 8 at the high school. And what we do is we put all of the gym bags, school bags into the back of my vehicle, and we do run from the middle school to the high school, so you can pick up your sons and daughters there. Their bags and school bags do remain locked in my vehicle unless for some reason they have to get to something. The locker rooms at the high school could be available after practice, but most typically decide to leave right away after practice. So the meets run around 2 hours. Sometimes they go till 6, maybe 6:30 before they wrap up. Just taking a look at the philosophy for the year. I have 5 things in the handbook that you can take a look at, and to summarize the information. Number 1 is to set goals for personal improvement. Number 2, attend practice or don't expect to participate. There are some cases wherein somebody has soccer or something, and if they are going to another practice and still staying in shape that way, that is fine. Work hard in the classroom. Make sure that that end of the school day is taken care of. Compete with good sportsmanship when the time comes is number 4. And for number 5, and I think that's one of the most important, we're not all going to run a sub 4-minute mile, but although it is not covered above, this point is important. Have fun and create friendships with your teammates and competitors, friendships that oftentimes could last for life. So that is something to consider. Just taking a look, there's a fair amount of things to cover as far as for COVID this year. And the number 1 priority for our season is the safety and well-being of everyone involved in the program, as well as those observing the meets. We do not want anyone to get sick. Aside from this obvious concern, a case of COVID could also mean a disruption or abrupt finish to our season if it does happen, if the entire team would have to quarantine for some reason. So we do have to follow the following protocols. Have some past track runners from Falls here in the background. So each athlete is allowed to have up to 4 spectators attend meets. Passes will not be provided, so please honor this limit. Masks must be worn by spectators, and social distancing guidelines must be followed. The conference athletic directors will not act as mask police, but have said they will not hesitate to eliminate all spectators for the season if they observe disregard for this. They do not want to jeopardize the safety or seasons of participating schools. If desired, parents or guardians are allowed to take their children both to and from meets this year, but in order to lessen the chance of any infections, may not provide transportation for any other team members. An athlete who is feeling ill should stay home to prevent risk to others. Not doing so could also require members of the team to quarantine and learn virtually for a specified amount of time. Sanitizing, hygiene, and distancing need to be a priority. Team members need to maintain a distance of 3 feet between each other and should not cluster, including in locker rooms or restrooms if changing. Gym bags as well should be placed 3 feet apart. There should be no sharing of water bottles, towels, or clothing. It is best to dress for cold weather to be prepared. Better to overdress than underdress, and I've seen that happen before where someone doesn't bring warm enough clothing along. Elbow bumps, of course, should be used for celebrating. Touching of the face should be avoided. Refrain from handling the equipment of other schools. High jumpers should bring disinfectant wipes to sanitize exposed skin after landing on the mat. Team members are encouraged to bring a personal bottle of hand sanitizer. Spitting of saliva or rinse water is not allowed. Athletes need to be masked unless they are in an event running, jumping, throwing, or warming up to do so. So that is nice that they will not have to be masked at that point. While waiting to compete, they need to maintain the 3 feet of social distance. Gaiters may be a good option to avoid the need to find a place for a mask if it is removed entirely when the event does occur. Coaches also need to be masked unless they are communicating, but must then maintain a distance of at least 6 feet. So I appreciate your attention to all of these details that typically we do not have for the season, but hopefully if we follow them, we can have a fun, safe, and successful season. Just one note on the handbook, and all students will receive a hard copy of this, and you can also find it online on the school's website. But on pages 11 and 12, get the video going here, or the pictures, there is a transportation agreement and release. And in the past, I had parents just return these to me if they were going to be taking their son or daughter home. And then it seemed like at the meet, there were oftentimes other parents that would want to take their son or daughter home. And I was digging out the paperwork and everything. So what I'm doing this year is having everyone sign it ahead of time. And you can check whether you're taking your son or daughter to the meet or home from the meet. And if you decide not to and you don't check the boxes, that's fine. But then if you come up to me at the meet and say, I would like to take them home, then all the paperwork is taken care of. And I don't have to try to dig that out with cold weather or rain or whatever it may be going. Hopefully we'll have weather as nice as it was today on Tuesday, April 6th. Can't guarantee that all of the time, though. So if you could have your that filled out and returned. And then one last thing. For our home meets on April 26th and May 3rd, we do need help in the concession stand. So if you could send me a note via email, I will get your name off to the coordinators of taking care of that. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and I'm very glad that your sons and daughters are signed up for track. Hopefully they'll be able to develop those friendships and have a good time for the future. Thank you very much.